Are these the best dry condition tires ever? Highly probable. Are they outstanding dry condition tires in any event? Absolutely certain. I'll let some footage play from my test rides as I do the voiceover for most of this video. As talking heads go, mine is not especially appealing. My riding's not rad either, but it's more interesting than my face. The tires I'm reviewing here are the Kenda Rush Pro, which I'm running up front, and the Kenda Booster Pro, which I'm running out back. Both are 29-inch tires. Both are 2.4 inches wide. There are further variations of each, so here are the SKUs. The Rush Pro SKU is 214753, and the Booster Pro SKU is 214310. My test bike was my 2019 Santa Cruz Hightower LTC with 150 millimeters of travel on both ends. Weight is about 32 pounds, or a mass of about 14.5 kilograms. My summer tires from last year had at least one more season on them, and I was going to run them again. But then those clever marketing folks at Kenda put all their tires on sale, so I ordered these. It's only been a few months since I reviewed the Kenda Cross Supreme tires I'm running on my gravel bike. Am I a shill for Kenda? Nah, they don't even know I exist beyond automated email requests for me to review my purchases. They certainly didn't send me any product or otherwise provide compensation for my reviews. Then are Kendas my favorite brand of tires? Honestly, I can't recall the last time I bought a crappy tire. Pretty much everybody makes good stuff these days. The name brands certainly do. That said, I have had great experiences with Kenda tires, and I think they provide excellent value at an affordable price point. So, no, I don't have a favorite brand of tire, but yes, I do like Kendas a lot. Here's some background information. I do mostly eastern woods riding, which means a wide mix of terrain. Hardpack, loose over hard, roots, rocks, wooden bridges over creeks, and rock armor across them. It's the same terrain summer and winter, but in summer it's usually dry, sometimes super dry, and in winter it's usually damp, sometimes super damp. I won't ride muddy trails any time of the year. My summer and winter tire choices reflect the seasonal difference in trail conditions. I could ride either set of tires in any season, but I do see benefit of having conditions-specific tires. And what kind of riding do I do? I go out in the woods and play on trails. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, always slower than I used to. Uphill, downhill, flow, tech, cross-country, down-country, all of it moderate, none of it extreme. The Rush Pro and Booster Pro seem to be perfect all-around tires for an all-around rider like me. I also had occasion to ride on pavement. I did a loop in Indianapolis that included the paved Monon Trail, the gravel Central Canal towpath, paved surfaces in downtown Indy, and then back to the start. As expected, the small knobs gave good performance on pavement. I started riding the Central Canal towpath in Broad Ripple, and here I am in downtown Indianapolis. I'm not 100% sure how I got here, and I'm about 10% sure how to get back. But that's alright, I'll figure it out. I'm Rich Reese, and I'll see you out there. Let's talk about their mass. I measured the Rush Pro at 666 grams and the Booster Pro at 729 grams. Now let's talk about listed mass. On the Kenda website, the Rush Pro was listed as 702 grams, plus or minus 35 grams. At the time of my purchase, the mass for the Booster Pro was not given, so I messaged the company, and a customer service rep named Gary said the mass was 710 grams, plus or minus 40 grams. The website now has the mass listed for the Booster Pro, and it shows 690 grams, plus or minus 35 grams. Using the highest and lowest numbers for both tires yields a maximum of 737 grams and a minimum of 667 grams for the Rush Pro, putting my tire 1 gram below the listed minimum. For the Booster Pro, the high and low were 750 grams and 655 grams, putting my tire neatly in the upper third of that range. Why all this talk about mass? Because mass matters, and for me at least, mass figures into my tire buying decisions. I just need to remember that listed mass can vary by more than 10%, and there is a slight possibility that the actual mass may fall outside of that range. This strikes me as odd for a specification over which the tire OEMs would seem to have a great deal of control, but there it is. Tire OEMs have a little less control over tire width in use, since tire width is affected by tire pressure and especially the internal width of the rim. My Rush measured 2.41 inches at 21 psi, and my Booster measured 2.38 inches at 25 psi. Both measurements were at the casing, as the knobs do not extend beyond the casing. I don't know the internal width of my rims, but their external width is 34.25 millimeters, so I imagine the internal width is 30 millimeters. In any event, the widths of both tires were very close to the stated widths. The tires performed well on everything that was dry. I did find a few boggy spots and got quite a bit of side slip, which is to be expected from such small knobs. The Rush Pro gave good steering response everywhere. The Booster Pro gave good drive traction in most conditions, offering the least on rocks, but even there it was okay. Both ends broke loose infrequently and behaved predictably when they did, but I'm no longer an aggressive rider, and if you are, you might more easily push these tires past their limits. Looking at the radar graphs on the retail packaging, I'd say my experience was in line with what those graphs show. I've had no cuts, no torn knobs, and I can't remember any punctures, although I've done several rides and it's possible I'm forgetting a puncture that the sealant handled. So I think that's a wrap. Another set of great tires from Kenda. Yes, I'd buy them again, and yes, I'd recommend them to others. I'm Rich Reese, and I'll see you out there. My thanks to those supporting my efforts. You can do so on a monthly basis through Patreon or with a one-time contribution through PayPal. Links are in the description.